Good morning. The next topic is e-check, electronic check. So, what is an electronic check? Electronic check is an electronic image of paper check. The Negotiable Instruments Amendment and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 2002 has introduced the concept of electronic check by expanding the definition of check as given in the Act. ഇപ്പോൾ നെഗോഷ്യബിൾ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെൻറ്റ്സ് ആക്ട് 1881 പ്രകാരം ചെക്കിനൊരു നിർവചനം മുമ്പ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതിൽ എന്തില്ല? ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ചെക്ക് ഇല്ല. ഈ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ചെക്ക് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ നെഗോഷ്യബിൾ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെൻറ്റ്സ് ആക്റ്റിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയത് നെഗോഷ്യബിൾ ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെൻറ്റ്സ് അമെൻമെൻറ്റ് ആൻഡ് മിസ്ലേനിയസ് പ്രൊവിഷൻസ് ആക്ട് 2002 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അമെൻമെൻറ്റിലൂടെയാണ് ഇലക്ട്രോണിക് ചെക്ക് എന്നുള്ളൊരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ചെക്ക് എന്നുള്ള ഡെഫിനിഷനിൽ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയത്. According to Section 6A of the Negotiable Instruments Act, a check in the electronic form means a check which contains the exact mirror image of a paper check and is generated, written and signed in a signature with or without biometric signature and asymmetric crypto system. According to Section 6A of the Act, a check in the electronic form means a check which contains exact mirror image of a paper check and is generated, written and signed in a signature with or without biometric signature and asymmetric crypto system. Then what are the features of e-check? First one is it's an exact mirror image of a paper check, or in other words, it's the electronic image of a paper check. It is the electronic image of a paper check. Second one is that it is generated, written and signed in secured manner using digital signature which is legally valid. Signed in secured manner using a digital signature, and this digital signature is legally valid now. Third feature is that it may or may not have biometric signature. The signature may be either biometric or non-biometric. Fourth one is there should be minimum safety standards like a symmetric crypto system. Minimum safety standards should be there. Next topic is automated teller machine, ATM. So you are familiar with ATM machines. ATM is a computerized device that enables the clients of a financial institution to perform financial transactions without the need of a cashier, clerk or a bank teller. So customers can perform financial transactions without the need of a bank employee with the help of an ATM. The customer is identified by inserting a plastic ATM card with a magnetic strip. We have to insert an ATM card, plastic card with a magnetic strip into the ATM. Authentication is provided by the customer entering a personal identification number, PIN number. Okay, so identification of the customer is done through this personal identification number. Using an ATM, customers can access their bank accounts in order to make cash withdrawals, check their account balance, etc. So using the ATM machine, customers can access to their bank account and they can withdraw money. They can also check the account balances, etc. Then debit cards. What is a debit card? A debit card is an electronic card issued by a bank which allows bank clients to access to their accounts to withdraw cash or pay for goods and services. Okay, so in addition to cash withdrawal, they can use the debit card issued by the bank to pay for goods and services purchased from various shops. This removes the need for bank clients to go to the bank to collect cash from their account as they go to an ATM or to pay electronically at merchant locations. And debit cards are of two types. First one is direct debit cards. Direct debit cards allow only online transactions, and there is an immediate electronic transfer of money from the customer's bank account to the merchant's account. So direct debit cards allow uh, online transactions, and there will be an immediate electronic transfer of money from customer's bank account to the merchant's accounts. And deferred debit cards. In deferred card system, which is also known as offline debit system, the merchant's terminal reads the cards and creates debits against the customer's accounts. And these deferred debit cards are used at the point of sale. And deferred debit cards are subject to daily limit and a maximum limit equal to the current account balance from which it draws money. Maximum limit will be equal to the balance of current account from which it draws money. Transactions done with deferred debit cards are require 2 or 3 days to be reflected on user's account balance. Credit cards. Credit card is also a plastic money which acts as an instrument of credits. The credit card holders need not carry cash with them. Okay, using debit card, the customer can withdraw or purchase goods and services up to the amount of balance in their accounts. But credit card allows the holder to buy goods and services based on the holder's promise to pay for goods and services. The issuing bank creates a revolving accounts or a revolving credit, allows a revolving credit, and grants credit to the customer from which he can borrow money for payment to a merchant or cash advance to the user. So the credit card issuing bank creates a revolving account in the name of the customer and grants credit to the customer from which he can borrow money for payment to a merchant or a cash advance to the user. Then now, what are the differences between debit card and credit cards? First point is that withdrawal using debit card is against own money laying in the customer's accounts. That means debit card users can withdraw money up to the amount of balance in their own accounts. But in the case of a credit card, withdrawal is made out of the credit facility offered by the bank up to a certain limit. Up to a certain limit, credit facility will be offered by the bank to the credit card customers. So, withdrawal is made out of the credit facility offered by the bank by the customer up to a certain limit. Second point of difference is that in case of a debit card, there is no risk of overspending as he withdraws his own money. The debit card holders can withdraw his own money. So there is no risk of overspending in the case of debit cards. But in the case of credit card, a credit facility is given by the banker to the customer. So there is a tendency of overspending as he can withdraw up to a specified limit. Third point of difference is that there is no interest or other cost on debit card. But the credit card holder has to pay interest on the credit availed by him. Interest will be charged by the bank on the credit availed by the customer. Next topic is Kisan Credit Card, KCC. KCC was introduced in 1998. These are issued by Indian banks to farmers for providing financial assistance in the purchase of agricultural inputs. So, KCC are issued by Indian banks to whom? To the farmers. For what purpose? For providing financial assistance to farmers at the time of purchase of agricultural inputs. The holders of KCC are sanctioned a credit limit depending upon their land holding, then cropping pattern, etc. So, depending upon the land holding of the farmers as well as the cropping pattern of the customers, the holders of KCC are sanctioned a credit limit depending upon all these factors. The agriculturists can withdraw money through slips or checks accompanied by card and a passbook issued for the purpose. Smart cards. Smart cards, also known as chip cards, use a different technology. It contains a computer microchip embedded within the plastic unit, provides unique capabilities. So, a smart card contains a computer chip, microchip embedded within the cards. It offers consumers the ability to hold multiple applications on a single card. So, using a single card, the consumers can perform multiple applications. So, a customer need not carry different cards for different uses. Okay, using a single card, the customer can do various applications. When a transaction is made using the smart card, the value is debited and the balance in the account of the customer comes down automatically. So, when a transaction is carried out by the smart card holder, the value is debited and the balance in the account of the customer is reduced automatically. Once the monetary value in the card comes down to zero, the balance is to be restored again so that the card becomes operational again. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ സാധാരണ നമ്മുടെ ഫോണിലൊക്കെ ഉള്ളതുപോലെ ഒരു റീചാർജ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ലേ, അപ്പോൾ റീചാർജ് ചെയ്ത എമൗണ്ട് തീർന്നു പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പിന്നീട് നമുക്ക് വിളിക്കാനും നെറ്റ് ഉപയോഗിക്കാനും പറ്റില്ല. അതുപോലെ ഇതിൽ ഒരു നിശ്ചിത തുക നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാണ്, അതിലോട്ട് ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അത് ചേരുന്നത് വരെ നമുക്ക് എല്ലാ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളും പല പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളും ഈ സ്മാർട്ട് കാർഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് നടത്താൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റും. അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ ഇടപാടുകൾ നടത്തുമ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ അക്കൗണ്ടിലുള്ള തുക കുറഞ്ഞു വരികയും ഇനി അത് സീറോയിലെത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വീണ്ടും നമുക്ക് ഇതിലാവശ്യമായിരിക്കുന്ന തുക നമുക്ക് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഇനി ബാക്കി ഈ കാർഡ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ നടത്താൻ വേണ്ടി പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ. ഇൻ്റർനെറ്റ് ബാങ്കിങ്. Internet banking, also known as online banking, virtual banking, or everywhere banking. Internet banking allows customers to conduct financial transactions with the bank through internet. So it allows customers to conduct financial transactions with the bank using internet. Now customers can open accounts, pay bills, view account balance, transfer funds from one account to another, and do almost all transactions online. To access the online banking facility of a bank, a customer having personal internet access must register with the bank for the service and set up a password for customer verification. So, to avail the online banking facility of a bank, what is required? A customer having personal internet access must register with the bank for the service and set up a password for customer verification. What are the facilities offered by online banking? First one is account details. The customer can view their bank account details, account balance, and download statements. Then fund transfer. Using online banking, one can transfer fund from one account to another. request services. Services like issue of checkbooks, demand draft, stop check payment, etc. on request. We can make some request to the bank. Investment services. So purchase of shares and debentures, sale of securities, etc. can be performed using online banking. Value added services. Value added services like pay bills, recharge mobiles, create virtual cards, register for e-statements, SMS banking, and also book bus or railway tickets and air tickets, etc. can be performed using online banking facility. Then what are the advantages of internet banking? First one is it ensures round the clock banking. That means we can perform banking functions using online banking 24 hours in a bank at any time. Second one, there is no need of visiting the branch for availing banking services. By sitting in the home or in the office, we can perform banking, so we can avail banking services using online banking or internet banking. Next one is it reduces the operational cost of bank. Certainly, it will help to reduce the operational cost of the bank. Fourth one is the bank can provide better service to customers, such as online trading, online shopping, online tax payments, online railway ticket reservation, etc. Apart from usual banking activities. So, apart from performing usual banking activities, bank can provide better service to customers. Fifth advantage is that internet banking provides speedy services to customers. Using internet banking, the bank can provide speedy services to the customers. And next one is it ensures privacy of banking transactions. Internet banking ensures the privacy of banking transactions made by the customers. Then disadvantages. So it has a number of advantages, but it suffers from certain important limitations. What are they? First one, internet banking can be used only by consumers who have accessibility to internet. So what is required? An internet facility is required for conducting online banking. Second one is that there is always the fear of security in the minds of consumers. So when we perform some functions using internet banking, then there will be fear of security in the minds of customers. Third one is that some customers are not interested in internet banking because they are not sure the quality of services provided by banks using internet banking. So some customers are not interested. Next one is that all banking transactions cannot be performed electronically. We can't perform all transactions using internet banking. Many banking activities require personal visit of customers to the bank. Some banking activities require personal visit of the customer to the bank. Then fifth one, the banks have to incur high initial expenditure for setting up necessary infrastructure for internet banking. Initially, the banks have to incur high expenditure for setting up a necessary infrastructure for internet banking. And next one is that the banks require 24 hours supportive environment and support of qualified technical staff, which increases their cost of production. So it's a 24-hour working banking service. So it requires 24 hours supportive environment and supporting staff, so which increases the cost of operation of bank. Okay, thank you.